Okay, let's go. I received the question. I'll summarize the question. Basically, a person is giving meiser, which means a tithe of the properties or the earnings and so on. And this person gave, at some point in his life, 10% of income. Then he gave 20% of the income because whatever, watched videos, the rabbi is talking about it, and also heard about deducting expenses, whether he should do it or not do it. And basically, things became hard. After giving 20%, things became tough financially. And then he started giving 10%, and things became worse financially. And at the moment, he's having a problem with finding work, finding the job, and has bills to pay, and so on. So basically, the question is what to do. That's the question. There's no one answer, and there's no black and white answers. Not such a simple question. The truth is, for Jews, it would be a little bit easier. Not really easy, but really a little bit easier. But for non-Jews, there are certain points that have to be made. Point number one, it is an argument between our sages whether non-Jews are obligated, I stress this word, obligated in giving tzedakah, in giving charity. Everybody agrees, as far as I know, they are not obligated in meiser, in 10%. It's a whole argument between the rabbis whether Jews are obligated, in which way are obligated to give 10% or 20% and so on. And in many places it's brought down that that brings a great, amazing blessing into the house and so on. I don't know, because I suppose there is no literature on this, whether that blessing applies to non-Jews also. I don't know. The opinion that says, this is the Ramban, Noahides, he lived in Spain, 1200s. The opinion that says that non-Jews are obligated on Tsedaka, on giving charity, again, the Ramban, he bases himself in the fact that non-Jews are obligated in any mitzvah that makes sense that a person should fulfill. So you want a nice society, you want a just and ethical, moral, and so on society, so it's a good thing to help others that don't have. It's a rational thing. I have, you don't have, so I'm going to help you. I don't have to give you everything that I have, because otherwise I'm going to be poor. But whatever, I can help you. But there's no, as far as I know, no place at all that says how much they have to give. 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, it doesn't, as far as I know, for non-Jews, it doesn't say anywhere. Okay, so we could copy, so to speak, the laws of the Jews. And before going into those laws, there's another opinion, the Rambam, Maimonides. It sounds from his works that non-Jews are not obligated in giving tzedakah. Because when he's giving examples of mitzvahs, commandments that non-Jews could do, just ask the Jews if they want to, but they're not obligated in doing them. One of the examples the Rambam brings is tzedakah. So we see from here that, according to his opinion, non-Jews are not obligated in giving tzedakah. Now, going back, what about the Jews? What's the law of meiser, of giving 10%, 20%, and so on? Before going into that, it's important to know that if you took a strong commitment to give this, you can't just stop. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. No. Either you go to a rabbi and ask to undo the promise, because something you did 3 times, it's already like a promise, so you're obligated by yourself. You obligated yourself to do it, so that's one option. Or you write down on a paper or whatever how much you should be giving, and then later when you have money, you're going to give what you had to give because you obligated yourself to give. So that means in the future, when I have the money, I'm going to give this. Or when I get some more money, I use this money. This money that I should be giving as a tithe, I use it now, but I'll give it later when I earn more money and I'm better financially speaking. So again, the law for the Jews, basic law is to give 10% of your income after, and this is a whole argument, after deducting your expenses, your mortgage or your bills and so on. So your earnings, your real earnings, that you give 10% off. If you want to be more strict, you can give 10% of whatever comes in, even before deducting the bills and so on. That's basically the law of Meiser, of tithe. I would recommend in this particular case to hold a little bit with the tithe, and again, talk to a rabbi, try to undo your obligation that you obligated yourself in, and when you become better, you'll give tzedakah. You'll help other people with this, and not necessarily 20%. I would definitely say 10%, not more than that. If you have a lot of money, you want to give a lot of money, so be happy and do it, and other people are going to be happy also on that. But you're not obligated to do that.